The Great Hall of the Galactic Senate was full. Alien leaders from hundreds of worlds had come. Some floated in bubbles. Some wore tall armor. Some smelled like fire. It was a strange mix of life. Tall, small, slimy, soft, metal, flesh. At the center, on a shining blue platform, stood Ambassador Rayan of Earth. He was the only human in the hall. His suit was clean, his voice calm. But his eyes were sharp, cold, watching everything. He had just finished speaking. And now, they laughed. The hall echoed with alien laughter. Some thumped the floor. Some clicked their jaws. One giant lizard-like general almost fell over from laughing too hard. Rayan stood still. He didn't smile. He didn't frown. He just waited. "You call that a fleet," said a Zarkathi warlord, wiping a tear from his eye. 10 ships. That's not a fleet. That's a joke. "Earth has always been slow," said a diplomat from the Vrex coalition. "Always behind. Weak, emotional creatures. They can't even fly beyond Sector 9 without asking for fuel," another added. The laughter grew louder. Rayan finally spoke. "You laugh because you think we're weak." A few chuckles still came, but most looked back at him now. "You believe numbers matter. Big guns, big ships. You think war is a game of size. That's your mistake." The room fell quiet, just a little. Rayan's voice was steady. "We don't want war. But if war is forced on us, you won't see us coming." The hall stayed quiet this time. Then someone in the back whispered, "What can 10 human ships do?" Rayan looked at him. He answered with only 3 words. "More than enough." Then, without another word, the Earth ambassador turned and walked out of the chamber. Far away, orbiting Earth, the 10 ships waited. They were black as space. No lights, no markings, no sound. From a distance, they looked like shadows that didn't move. Inside them were the best of Earth's minds, pilots who had trained in silence, engineers who had given up their lives for the project, AI systems so advanced, even Earth feared using them too long. Each ship had only one goal: protect Earth. The galactic powers had always mocked Earth's small military, but they didn't know what these ships could do. Not yet. Commander Aria sat inside the flagship Valkyrie. She watched the stars from her seat. Calm. "Ready. Orders?" asked the AI beside her. "Wait for signal," she said. "We move only when it's time." Back in the Galactic Senate, some leaders were still joking, but a few had gone quiet. Ambassador Kor from the Trillic Empire walked to a private room. He looked at his assistant. "Send a probe." Quietly. "I want to see these 10 ships for myself." The assistant nodded. 2 hours later, the probe reached the edge of Earth's orbit. It tried to scan. Nothing came back. Then it tried again. Still nothing. And then, just for 1 second, it saw something. A shape, a movement, a glow of heat. Then it went dark. On the other side of the galaxy, the Xarn Empire's war leader got the report. He read it twice. "Is this a joke?" he asked. "One Earth ship made our probe vanish." "Yes, sir. No energy spike, no explosion. Just gone." The war leader laughed. They probably threw a rock at it. But deep down, a chill had begun in his mind. That night, in a dark part of the galaxy, a hidden camera picked up something strange. An Earth ship had entered a forbidden zone. It had moved past defense satellites without being seen. It had left a message. "To those who mock us, you had your laugh. Now comes silence." And then the ship disappeared. A cold silence spread across the galaxy. After Earth's mysterious message and the vanishing of the probe, the Galactic Council was no longer laughing. Every leader had started watching Earth more closely. Every general had begun asking, "What are humans hiding?" And yet, no one had answers. No one knew where the human fleet trained. No one knew who their commanders were. No one knew what kind of weapons they had. But rumors? Rumors spread fast. On the desert world of Crassel Prime, 2 bounty hunters sat in a dusty bar. One of them, a slim alien with sharp yellow eyes, leaned forward. "I heard their ships can disappear," he whispered. The other, a thick-skinned brute with steel arms, grunted. "That's old tech. Everyone can do that." "No," the yellow-eyed one said, eyes narrowing. "I mean vanish. As in, not cloaked. Not hidden. Gone. Not even sensors can find them." The brute raised an eyebrow. "That's not stealth," he said. "That's impossible." But his voice had a tremble in it. Meanwhile, deep in Sector 12, a Zarkathi destroyer was patrolling a quiet region of space. The Zarkathi Empire had always been proud. Huge ships, strong weapons, and no fear of war. Captain Draws sat in his command chair, bored. "Any signs of Earth ships?" he asked his crew. "Nothing, Captain," came the reply. "Just silence." Then something changed. One by one, the lights on the control panel flickered. Systems blinked. Communications went dead. Engines stopped humming. The crew panicked. "Captain, we're blind." "What's happening?" On the main screen, a single message appeared. It was not sent by radio. It was not coded in normal waves. It was just there. "This is just a warning." And then, out of nowhere, a dark shape passed in front of them. Smooth, silent, almost like a shadow made of metal. Before anyone could react, the shape vanished again. A few seconds later, the systems came back online. No shots fired. No damage. No explosion. Just fear. Captain Draws stared at the screen. He couldn't breathe. His claws shook. "Get us out of here," he whispered. Now, back on Earth, deep under the surface, was a place called Zone Black. It didn't exist on any map. It had no name in any government record. Inside, Commander Area stood in front of a glowing screen. Dozens of human officers worked around her. A young tech turned to her. "Target ship jammed. Commander, they couldn't even track us." "Good," she replied. She walked to the center of the room, where a giant galaxy map blinked. 10 red dots showed the location of Earth's special fleet, one in each key sector. Watching. Waiting. "We show them fear," Area said. "But we don't attack." "Not yet." A senior general stepped forward. "The Council's getting nervous. They've doubled security across their inner worlds. But no one's calling for war. They're scared to touch us." "Let them stay scared," Area said. "That's the point." In the Galactic Council Hall, chaos was growing. Meetings turned into shouting matches. Some wanted peace with Earth. Others wanted war before it was too late. Ambassador Kor from the Trilek Empire stood and raised his voice. "Enough. We used to laugh at them. But now we don't even understand what we're facing." "What do you suggest?" Another alien barked. "We need information," Kor said. "Real data, not rumors. I say we send our best spy into Earth space. Let's learn the truth." The room went silent. Then slowly, one by one, they nodded. Later that night, in a hidden starport, a sleek black ship took off without a sound. Inside it was Seltar, the galaxy's top spy. No one had ever caught him. No one even knew what species he was. He had one mission: enter Earth space, find their secrets, return alive. But he didn't know what waited for him. On the edge of the Sol system, Seltar's ship floated in the dark. No radio, no lights, pure stealth mode. He scanned the region. Nothing. Just Earth. Silent. Normal. Weak. Then his ship jolted. "Warning," said his computer. "Gravitic field detected." Before he could move, 3 Earth ships appeared. No engine flash, no warp signature, just appeared. He froze. The ships didn't fire. Instead, a voice came through. inside his mind. Not through tech, not through radio, just inside. We knew you would come. Zeltar's heart raced. We will not harm you, but we will not let you pass. Return and tell them. Next time, we won't just watch. Then, the ships vanished. Back at the council, Zeltar returned with a pale face. He didn't speak for hours. When he finally did, all he said was, "They are not what we thought." The galaxy was changing. What started as laughter had turned into whispers, and those whispers became silence. Every empire, big or small, was now watching Earth. But Earth remained calm. Too calm. The council grew restless. They had power. They had armies. They had fleets larger than Earth's entire population. But they also had fear. Fear of what they did not understand. In the dark skies of Sector V89, a massive fleet gathered. Over 300 warships from 17 different alien empires floated side by side. It was the largest joint military force the galaxy had seen in 200 years. They called it Operation Iron Net. Their goal was simple. Trap Earth, block their space, force them to talk, or force them to kneel. Council General Uver stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Dawnbreaker. He was old, wise, and had won many wars. But even he had doubts. "Do you really think this is a good idea?" his second-in-command asked quietly. Uver looked at Earth on the screen. "I don't know. But I know this. Waiting is worse." On Earth, inside Zone Black, Commander Aria studied a hologram of the alien fleet. She smiled, just a little. "They finally made their move," she said. General Rhodes stepped forward. "We're outnumbered 30-1. I know. We should talk." Aria turned her head slowly. "No, we show them the truth." That night, Earth sent one signal. Not a threat, not a speech, just 5 words in plain galactic basic. "You wanted us to answer." And then, Earth went silent again. The alien fleet approached the edge of the Sol system. They spread wide. Warships took formation. Carriers launched small drones. Sensors scanned every asteroid and signal. But nothing came. No resistance. No warning. They inched closer. Finally, just past the orbit of Neptune, they stopped. "Begin full scan," General Uver ordered. Suddenly, ping. One by one, dozens of enemy contacts appeared. But they hadn't come from hyperspace. They hadn't used warp drives. They were just there, like shadows slipping through cracks in space. 10 Earth warships, 10 Ghost-class destroyers, and each of them aimed directly at the fleet. On board the Dawnbreaker, alarms screamed. "We're being locked," a voice shouted. But how? They came from nowhere. "Shields up," Uver roared. "Fire if fired upon." But Earth didn't fire. Instead, a message was sent directly to all ships in the alien fleet. It showed a planet, not Earth, a destroyed one, burned cities, dead skies, broken moons. It was Zarnus 3, a world Earth had kept hidden. "Look what your council did during the expansion wars," the message said. "You thought no one survived. And yet, we did." Then came the final line. "We do not forget. We do not forgive. We do not run." Panic spread through the fleet. Some captains tried to retreat. Others stayed frozen. A few prepared weapons. General Uver, sweating, gave one last order. "Hold your fire," he said. "No one moves unless I say." But it was already too late. One alien cruiser, panicked and afraid, fired a plasma shot. It missed. Barely. But Earth did not. The Ghost-class destroyers moved in perfect silence. No visible weapons, no engine light, just death wrapped in darkness. One moment, they were far. The next, they were among the fleet. Ships began to explode. But not with fire. With silence. Systems shut down. Engines melted. Hulls crumbled without sound. It was not war. It was punishment. In less than 6 minutes, 41 ships were destroyed. No Earth ship was even scratched. Then, as quickly as they came, the destroyers vanished. The rest of the alien fleet stood in stunned silence. Uver clenched his fists. We pushed them too far. Back on Earth, Aria looked at the screen. The Council had lost its voice. Now it would listen. She turned to Rhodes. "Prepare the message," she said. "What message?" Her eyes were cold. "The terms." Across the galaxy, every empire went quiet. For the first time in thousands of years, Earth had made the stars tremble, and they were just getting started. The Council's grand fleet was broken, not by numbers, not by size, but by fear. The kind of fear that spread deep into bones, the kind that made proud leaders stay silent. In the heart of the Galactic Council chamber, 27 species gathered. Their faces showed anger, confusion, shame, but above all, worry. How can 10 human ships destroy 40 of ours in minutes? One ambassador shouted. They used shadow tech. Illegal tech, barked another. Humans don't care about your rules, whispered a third. They care about revenge. No one answered that, because they all knew it was true. General Uver stood before the council. He looked tired, not from battle, but from defeat. "I warned you," he said softly. "We forced their hand. And now, they won't stop until we listen." The head of the council, High Speaker Traver, stood tall. "We don't surrender," he said with pride. But his voice shook. Uver walked to the center and placed a small cube on the table. It lit up. A hologram of Earth appeared. Then, Commander Aria's face. Her voice was calm, but cold. "We gave you a chance to leave us alone. You laughed. We asked you to stay away from our skies. You mocked us. You came anyway. You sent fleets. You wanted war. Now you get one, on our terms." Then came the list. Earth's terms of surrender. Disband the War Council. No more secret meetings to plan attacks. Close all military stations near Earth's border. Earth will allow no threat within 3 jumps. Return all human prisoners. Every last one. Acknowledge Earth as a core world, equal to the top 5 empires. And finally, apologize. A public message to the whole galaxy. We were wrong. Humanity earned its place. The chamber fell silent. This wasn't a treaty. This was domination without a single planet taken. And yet, no one moved to fight. No one dared to call her bluff. In a dark room on the outer rim, a young alien pilot named Vorn watched the speech. He had once called humans soft skins. He had once joked that Earth would be easy to burn. Now, he wasn't laughing. "They didn't ask for blood," he whispered. "They asked for respect." His commander replied, "And if we don't give it?" Vorn didn't blink. "They'll take it." Back in the chamber, Speaker Traver tried to hide his shaking hand. He looked around. Not one council member stood with him. Some stared at the floor. Others avoided his eyes. They were beaten, not by death, but by truth. He pressed a button on his podium. A bright blue light shone. "The council," he said with a dry voice, "votes yes to Earth's terms." Earth's reply came within seconds. A single word typed in big letters. "Wise." At Earth HQ, Aria closed the feed and turned to General Rhodes. "It's done," she said. "Not yet," he replied. "The stars still watch us." She nodded. "Then let them watch." In the following weeks, the galaxy changed. Humanity received an open seat at the council. New trade routes were offered. Old enemies returned prisoners, some who hadn't seen home in decades. Statues were torn down, monuments built in Earth's honor. But Earth remained quiet. No celebration, no speeches. They didn't need glory. They already had respect. And yet, deep in the shadows of space, Earth's Ghost-class fleet remained active, watching, waiting. Because Commander Area knew something the Council didn't. This was just the beginning. The stars were quiet. Too quiet. The galaxy had returned to peace, on the surface. But beneath it, tension still lived. Aliens traded carefully now. Words were chosen with care when humans entered the room. Eyes glanced toward the door, half expecting a warship to appear even during meetings. Earth had not attacked again. They didn't need to. Their silence was louder than any gun. On a cold, dark moon near the edge of the galaxy, a secret meeting took place. 3 leaders from old enemy factions sat around a table. They spoke in hushed voices. "We must strike first," one whispered. "They are growing too fast," said another. "They are becoming the real empire," muttered the third. Then, the lights flickered. A cold wind passed through the sealed room. Something was watching. A small metal orb floated into the center of the table. No one had seen it come in. It opened. A voice played. "You speak of striking first, but you already did. You lost. You fear what Earth will become. You should. You still see humans as prey. That is your second mistake. The third would be trying again." The message ended. A second later, a small red dot appeared on each of the leaders' chests. Then, vanished. The orb burned itself to dust. No explosion, no trace. Just a message. "We see you." On Earth, Commander Area stood on a cliff, staring at the stars. The wind moved her coat gently. General Rhodes walked up beside her. "They're quiet now," he said. "For now," she replied. He looked up at the night sky. "Do you think they'll try again?" Area didn't blink. "They always do." "And what then?" She turned to him. Her eyes were sharp, calm, and cold. "Then we remind them," she said, "why they once feared Earth's tiny navy." She smiled faintly. Because it was never tiny. Far above them, in silent orbit, a black fleet floated. Cloaked, motionless, waiting. Because war wasn't over. It was just paused.